If you were a child of the 50s and 60s, you knew the excitement of hunkering down in front of the old black and white television set or counting your pennies to head to the movies for the latest adventures of cowboy heroes like Roy Rogers, Lash LaRue, or the Lone Ranger and Tonto. Those were the days, and those were some of the true heroes of the day. The list could continue with Annie Oakley, John Wayne, Tom Mix. It's a time when kids knew who the bad guys were, and the good guys always prevailed. Nowadays, you can catch some of those cowboy heroes in old reruns and full-length movies on television. And through those reruns, popularity is returning. So says cowboy enthusiast and collector Cliff Parent, who's been a fan and a memorabilia collector for years. His love of those old West heroes has drawn him to conventions and gatherings of similar interested fans nearly every year. Cliff has been the promoter and organizer of Cowboy Days here in northern Michigan since the early part of this decade, bringing cowboy lookalikes to the Great Lakes state in appreciation of those heroes of yesteryear. With next year's event being planned as we speak, we had an opportunity to sit down and talk with Cliff about the upcoming event that's not set in any one location but travels through the countryside, spreading the goodwill like an old West traveling show. We're sitting here looking and reminiscing about some of the old-time cowboy heroes. They were the heroes of their day, weren't they, Cliff?
They sure were. You go back in the early 50s, you had Hoppy, and you had Tom Mix, and you had Lash LaRue, and Roy Rogers. And
you've got some memorabilia here. You were really into it, and you're still kind of preserving the old West in what we're going to be doing in the near future in the northern Michigan area, the Cowboy Days. But when did you start collecting these things, Cliff?
I have
a youngster, or
yeah, back in the 50s, I started collecting some Roy Rogers stuff when he was on television. They had the Roy Roger fan club, and you send in, and he'd send us your picture. I got one from one year and one from the following year here.
This one here was from the, was this the first one you got here?
I think this was the first one.
Okay. Happy Trails, Roy Rogers and Trigger.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. And then these were his kids.
The kids, yep.
Yep. And by golly, and of course, this is a fascinating piece you've got here too, of Roy Rogers' investment firm that he...
this is one of the original canceled checks.
Okay.
That a friend of mine happened to get a bunch of these canceled checks, and this picture here was taken off of a notepad that you could buy for school, and that was the cover of the notepad.
Okay.
But it's fun collecting this stuff, it's just, and there's, I just enjoy it.
You're going to have to open up a museum, Cliff. I don't know about this. I mean, you've had lunch pails, you've had cap guns, and
mannequins,
collectibles. Yeah, you had the whole outfit there of the Lone Ranger at one time.
That was signed by John Hart.
Yeah, and that's something. But we're going to bring the community's going to bring together an old West type Cowboy Days next year. You've been doing this Cowboy Days
since 2000.
2000.
I first met him down in Cambridge, Ohio, in 2000, and then we bought him up here in the spring, the summer, and what we did, we had a grand opening at Abigail's Antique Shop, and they were up here for the grand opening.
Okay.
Then in 2001, we bought in, a friend of mine has a ranch down in Sterling, and he bought in the original John Hart, the Lone Ranger. He was here for 10 days.
Oh my.
And he was in the parades, and he'd done autograph sessions, and we just had a lot of good times together talking and reminiscing about Hollywood. And
you're talking about bringing them up. We're talking about, he was the original. I mean, he was John Hart was not the original, but he was the second Lone Ranger. But the people you're bringing up are kind of lookalikes. Bringing them back. The other ones are kind of passed off into the old...
They're up in heaven now.
But and this is exciting too, because it's bringing back a time, and it's reintroducing these cowboys, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah,
we have the Cagle brothers coming from Ohio. They have Don that plays the Lone Ranger. They have Ken that plays Rooster Cogburn. They have Don's son Mike. He plays Tom Mix.
Okay.
And then we have Gary that plays. He was playing John Wayne there for a while. Now he switched his to Matt Dillon. And then we have John Pips from Indiana. He plays Tonto. And then we got two new ones coming this next year. They're Fuzzy. He was a sidekick that played with most all the cowboys. And he lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and he's coming up. And then his friend Rochelle, she plays Annie Oakley, and she lives in North Carolina, and she'll be coming up.
Oh boy.
And Canyons was so nice to give us the rooms for them to stay in.
Isn't that something? Now, a lot of kids and people are hearing these names for the first time. The children are anyway, I think, but the children of the 50s, 60s, and 70s might remember all these as some of the biggest heroes of their time,
right.
And they did make an impact on the baby boomers of yesterday.
Right.
I tell you what, it's something to see. Now, these people, the Cagle brothers and the other fellows, Tom Mix, is lookalikes. They really get into character too, don't they?
Oh, they just love it, and they play it 110%. They just they dress and everything has to be just so. And they're just fabulous bunch of people.
It's a time to meet, and get autographs from these people too. But they also do a little.
We do shootouts. This last year we had a shootout at Canyons.
Okay.
Out there on Sage Lake. And we'll be back again next year, and we're going to have the Buckaroo contest next year out there for the kids. And then we always do the Michigan Valley Railroad up in Fairview. They go up there and they spend the day out in the woods and riding the trains with the kids and giving out pictures. And this year we also were at Timber Steakhouse for a shootout, which went over real well. This next year we're also going to be at Liberty Pines.
Okay.
They're going to have one day where they're going to have all these different vendors come in with saddles and bridles and horseshoeing, and this will be a demo thing going on all day, and they're going to have barbecue for the people and this type of stuff, and the cowboys will be out there spending the day and just having fun. And they said they're going to bring some of their memorabilia up to sell because they get so much.
Is that going to be a whole day event there?
Whole day event.
Oh my! Michigan Magazine's going to have to take part in that.
This is going to be the weekend after 4th of July. 4th of July is on a Thursday. And they're going to start coming up on Friday, and we'll have like 3 or 4 days that they'll be here. We're doing all these different events.
So you're going to be at Liberty Pines and Canyons and Timbers?
Timbers, and we'll be up at the Michigan Valley Railroad.
Yeah.
And just having a bunch of fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. These fellas are from all parts of the country. Well, a few of the states, Maryland, and where else are they from?
Ohio, Indiana.
Okay. All right.
North Carolina, Georgia. But I know that when we were up at the Valley Railroad there, these kids, they know who wrote Roy Rogers, and they know Tom Mix, and they're starting to understand because they're seeing all this back on television, the good television.
Yeah.
And this makes a lot of difference,
Yeah, it does. It's going to be exciting, and this is all coming up next year. It's kind of a culmination of the years that you started this back in the early days, and this will be the 13th year.
Right.
My goodness. And a lot of these, the Cagle brothers been with you from the very beginning?
Yeah, the Cagle brothers have,
They love the kids. I mean, the kids just...
Yeah, I know Lash, he says that's the only reason he comes is for the kids.
Yeah.
He gives them an autograph picture and a little badge, a sheriff's badge, and the Lone Ranger hands out mask, and they enjoy it. They really do. It'll be July 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay, all right. And for more information, they can contact you, Cliff.
We'll have it up online. We'll be talking about it.
Hopefully we can do some live streaming of some of these events.
Right.
Okay, thanks, Cliff.
Thank you, Barry.